Hi, Millie. I'm busy right now, silly. Millie, I need you to move, Cell. Millie, I'm recording you, silly Mel. Millie? Are you being so silly today? Yeah.
Yeah, Mel. That's okay, I can record with you here. The rest of the Z Fighters are alerted by the Saiyans of the incoming invasion. To have a place to go where they can discuss everything, they all head off to Kami's lookout. Kami isn't too fond of having the others be up here, since he's not the biggest fan of Kakarot, as he almost killed him when he almost killed King Piccolo. Though, since the fate of the world rests on these guys' shoulders, he allows them all here. Trunks and Ranch do know of the Saiyan invasion, of course, but something is off this time, because, yeah, obviously. It's the mention of Broly. They both have no idea who that is, as the only ones they know of that came to Earth were Vegeta and Nappa. But a Broly? They've never heard of him before, but he's sure that the others will be able to handle it, as there's no way he can be stronger than they are now, so things shouldn't get that bad. Kami tells them all that while he may be able to train some of them, training with him isn't going to do a lot, especially when they have the likes of Trunks and Ranch around, since they are much more powerful than him. However, strength itself isn't everything, and they might need to learn certain moves to be able to defeat these Saiyans. Moves that the legendary King Kai will be able to teach them. However, King Kai resides in the other world, a place where only the gods and the dead can reside, so he's sure that only one of them would be allowed to go by King Yemma. This shocks them all, as only one person going will lead to a huge disadvantage. Kakarot is still listening in on this other world, a place where the dead reside. He's hoping that Vomi is there and in peace. Kami contacts King Yemma to try and convince him for more than one person to go, but he refuses. This angers everybody, and surprisingly, the person this angers the most is Goku. She storms right up to Kami and screams loud enough for Yemma to hear her. She says that all of the people around them are family. They're the Breakfast Club of Combat, and they always train together. This time, they need to train for a literal world-ending event, and he's just not gonna let them? It'll be his fault that the planet will get destroyed. And he'll have billions of more souls going to his check-in station, all because of his stupidity. And she knows that billions of souls is going to be a lot of paperwork, so he's just asking for more of his job to do. If he doesn't want to go crazy with work, then he better let them go off into Otherworld to train with King Kai, or none of them will go, and he can suffer the consequences. King Yemma, and everybody for that matter, are shocked at Goku's surprisingly smart outburst, and he actually decides to listen to her and allow all of the Z Fighters to come and train with King Kai. Goku lets out a huge smile and says that they all better get going. Well, a lot of them will be going, a bunch of them will stay behind too, mainly all of the other Saiyans. Trunks and Ranch say that they're needed here, and Raditz and Kakarot want to stay with Jocha and maybe even show her the Super Saiyan form. After a lot of debate, the crew decides to split up, with those going to King Kai being Goku, Hercule, Chi-Chi, Yajirobe, Tien, Chaozu, and Piccolo. Yamcha needs to stay on Earth to take care of Konbu, while Bulma needs to stay to improve her armor more than anything. Launch wants to stay behind as well, since she just wants to stay with Raditz. They all say their goodbyes, but before they go, Ranch reminds them to come back a little earlier, that way they're not late when the Saiyans arrive. With that, the Breakfast Club of Combat goes off to the other world to go and train with King Kai. From here, we're going to be going into a bit of a time skip overlaying how this year of training is going for everybody until the Saiyans arrive. So, we'll start off with how it goes for the Breakfast Club on King Kai's planet. The crew begin their journey down Snake Way, which is a task in and of itself. Thankfully, since there are so many of them there, they can coordinate their journey. When somebody needs to sleep, somebody else will just carry them. That way they can save plenty of time and get to the planet as fast as possible. With this strategy, the crew are able to shave off so much time in travel that they get to King Kai's planet in only a few short days. Once on King Kai's planet, he agrees to train the group, only as long as they tell him a joke. Hercule, Chi-Chi, Yajirobe, and Chaozu are able to make him laugh in one shot, but it's a bit harder for Goku, Piccolo, and Tien. Goku is able to bypass the joke entirely and just get in by fixing King Kai's car, but Piccolo and Tien need to try their best to be clever and make a joke, which takes a long time for them. Eventually, when the crew are all able to train, they first need to get used to the 10 times gravity of the planet, which is actually very beneficial for training purposes. Piccolo says that's why he wears his weighted clothing, and Goku tells him that once they get back to Earth, maybe she can ask Bulma to create an artificial gravity chamber for them, since all that extra gravity would be very useful in training. The training and techniques the group learned from King Kai is amazing. Every single one of the group is able to get a grasp on the Kaioken, which increases their power many-fold. King Kai warns them not to go above ×2, since anything above that will most certainly tear their bodies apart. But to his surprise, a lot of them can even go ×4 without their bodies breaking down too much. Mainly Goku, Piccolo, and Tien. Goku, cause, well, she's a Saiyan, and Piccolo has amazing regeneration on his side, so he can go even further than ×4 if he wanted. Tien, on the other hand, is able to increase it a lot since he has mastery of his ki ever since his training with Kami. He's opened a third eye in that sense, and can use the Kaioken extremely well compared to the other humans. Yajirobe is able to increase his levels since he's just naturally strong, but since he's more of a brute than anything, he can't increase his anywhere over ×5, or he'll blow himself up since he's not too great with all the ki stuff. Chi-Chi is able to make hers out at ×3, and use her magic with this as well to create even more powerful ki constructs, which works out amazingly for her. Chaozu is of course the weakest of the group as usual, but his Kaioken is very strong, and even Chaozu by himself would probably be able to take out all of the Cybermen at once, so he's not as weak as you think. Besides the Kaioken, King Kai has another technique he can share with them, the Spirit Bomb. The Spirit Bomb is a great technique, though not one that can be used by everybody here. The only ones who'd really be able to do it are Goku, Chi-Chi, and Tien. Goku, again, cause she's Goku, and Chi-Chi can easily do it with her magic, and Tien can with his perfect ki control. For everybody else, it's not something that can be attained so easily, so they focus more on getting the hang of their Kaioken. Hercule is even able to combine the Kaioken and his maximum power buff form, which gives him a huge edge in power, so he's doing really fine for himself. Eventually, the year almost passes, with the entire crew becoming stronger than ever before, and King Kai being very proud of them all. Since they listened to Ranch before they left, they make sure not to stick around for the full year, and head off a bit early, that way they can be there in time for when the Saiyans arrive. So, King Kai wishes the group luck, and they all fly off of his planet at Mach speed to return to Earth in time. On Earth over the past year, all of the Saiyans have managed to get amazing gains as well. Jocha got to see the power of Kakarot and Raditz's Super Saiyan forms, and while they are great, they're still no match for Broly in her eyes, so they're going to need a way to go even further beyond Super Saiyan. Kakarot and Raditz wonder if there's a way to evolve Super Saiyan, with Gine telling them that there has to be a way. Raditz should know, as he managed to achieve some sort of false Super Saiyan form before he got the real thing. So, maybe there's a way they can power up the original Super Saiyan form into something greater. While she hasn't gotten to Super Saiyan form either, she's no slouch, and has been watching how her sons train into form, getting to know a lot about it. She asks Trunks and Ranch if she's right, with them just smiling and nodding. They train to evolve to Super Saiyan form as well, and while it took them a while, they managed to exceed its powers. Not to anywhere like Super Saiyan 2 mind you, but to the Ultra Saiyan Grade 3 mode. Kami informs the group that to get as strong as possible, he's going to open up the Time Chamber for them. While Raditz has already spent months in the chamber, he's never trained in there with another Super Saiyan, so perhaps they should go inside to get an extra year of training on top of the one that they already have, and each of them can have a turn as well, though it can only be 2 people at a time. The group think that's a good idea, and he tells them that he's not just going to sit idly by and do nothing. He's the guardian of this planet, and he's been doing a pretty lousy job. He's one of the weakest people there, and he aims to change that by doing what the Demon King Piccolo failed to do. Kami instructs Mr. Popo to go and grab the Dragon Balls, which Mr. Popo brings out. Kakarot is stunned and asks how the Dragon Balls are here. Didn't he kill Shenron all those years ago? Kami glares at Kakarot, saying, unfortunately, yes, he did kill his dragon, but he was able to find the Dragon Balls and rebuild Shenron from the ground up. He's kept them up here so nobody else can try to find them, mainly him. Kakarot glares back and does feel pretty guilty about the whole killing Shenron thing. Kami summons Shenron and wishes for him to regain his youth. Shenron grants this wish easily as Kami begins to change and evolves into his younger self, growing stronger than ever before. Shenron disappears as Kami tells him that now he can help them train. While he most likely won't go into the battlefield himself, since if he dies, the Dragon Balls would disappear, but now he can help them get stronger with his own strength. Kakarot and Raditz head into the time chamber to train, while the others train on the outside. Gine and Jocha are able to train together in their Great Ape forms, which they thankfully mastered control of years ago. Since Caulifla has a tail, she was also transformed into a Great Ape, and while she wasn't able to control it, Gine and Jocha were able to calm her down and get her to be able to somewhat control the form. Kami, Bulma, and Launch all team up against the Great Apes to get some more training against the transformation, just in case the Saiyans busted out. Trunks and Ranch sit by watching them all train, and hop in every once in a while, but not too much as they can easily beat everybody else here. But they wonder if that's really true, once Kakarot and Raditz leave the time chamber, as they've grown insanely powerful in time they were in there. They both managed to ascend past Super Saiyan and move into Super Saiyan Grade 2 and even Grade 3, which is insane power. Trunks and Ranch are very surprised they managed to get this powerful, since it took them years to get Grade 3, and here these two are doing it way before their fight with even Frieza. This timeline sure is special. Sure enough, Caulifla, Konbu, and Videl all want to train too, but Bulma and Kakarot say absolutely not, as they're way too young to be in a battle like that. Kami still does train them on the side since they want to get more powerful, but nothing too major, as they're not allowed to go out and fight. During this time of training, however, a threat does arrive, but it's not the Saiyans, it's something else. These Bio-Warriors attacked them all one day, with Raditz, Gine, and Jocha all thinking that these are Cybermen attacking them. What are these creatures? Once the Biomen are taken care of, an old man shows up to them, revealing that he's here to take over the world's strongest. The crew is confused on who this guy is, until Bulma tells them that she recognizes this guy's appearance. This is Dr. Willow. Dr. Willow tells her that yes, it is him. He was almost killed many years ago in the ice, but he was found by the brilliant Dr. Javot and remade into this. Javot? That name instantly puts them all on guard. Javot rebuilt him? He's out of jail? This makes Kakarot pretty angry to know that he's out there and on the streets again, but Trunks is even angrier than him, erupting into his Super Saiyan form and rushing Willow, slamming him against the rocks and asking him where Javot is. Willow laughs, saying that he'll never spill, and he powers up. Trunks is confused. Why does it look like he's transforming? Willow explodes in power, revealing his true self. He is in a robotic body, a very, very powerful robotic body, and he's able to slam Trunks off of him. Trunks flies back, and once he recovers himself, he wipes his nose to see that it's bleeding. He's bleeding? Somebody from this era was actually able to injure him. Oh no, this must mean the Red Ribbon, Javot. They're gaining more and more powerful from how powerful they've gotten, and the tech he gave Dr. Willow is definitely only the start. The stronger they get, the stronger the real androids get. And if somebody like Willow can already hurt him, then they'll be powerless against Cell when he appears. The others attack Willow while Trunks is freaking out, and Willow is a very strong match for all of them, though is easily overwhelmed when they all work together. They do their best not to kill him, since Trunks makes sure of that. It's no cakewalk though. Even in their Super Saiyan forms, he's still very strong. Jocha comments that this guy is nothing to the likes of Vegeta or Broly, but Trunks says he's too strong compared to how he should be, and once they're all able to knock him down, Trunks demands him to tell the location of Javot and the rest of the Red Ribbon. But, realizing that he's done for here, Willow self-destructs, taking himself and the location of Javot. This enrages Trunks, with Ranch trying to calm him down the best that she can. Jocha is confused on who this Javot is and why they think he's important, as the Saiyans are clearly more dangerous, but the others tell her that Javot is very dangerous, as he may be nothing at his own power, but with his mind, he can create androids that would probably rival even that Broly that she's talking about in power. So it's very important that they find him before he can create beings that powerful. Trunks says that he needs to go out and try and find his lab as soon as possible, but Ranch says that the Saiyans will be here any day now. Once they deal with them, then they can all go out and search. But in the meantime, they need him here so they can prepare. Trunks does eventually calm down and agrees to stay here to train. But once the Saiyans are done for, then Javo is next. With the threat of Willow gone, the group continue their training until Goku and the rest of the Breakfast Club appear back on Earth with their King Kai training complete. They all regroup right as the Saiyans make their appearance on Earth. Caulifla, Konbu, and Videl are left with Kami at the lookout for safety as the others fly down to encounter the Saiyans. Vegeta, Nappa, Tarble, Krillin, and Broly all arrive on the planet and can detect the powers of the others. Instead of Nappa blowing up the city they're in, they immediately blast off to the powers of the Z Fighters and arrive at their destination, with the two teams finally meeting each other for the very first time. And with that, we're going to be ending this episode right here. I really hope you guys enjoyed the second part of the Saiyan saga, and next time we're going to be delving into the giant climactic battle. So, make sure you guys like and subscribe, that way you can stay tuned for whenever that comes out. But before I go, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of my amazing patrons. In the official patron tier, we have Nathan, BBB, Bossmaker, Semroth, Happy Chappy, Silver Strike, and Courtney Hawkins. In the moving up in the world tier, we have Patrick Sandelin, John Lister, Boris, Senshenron92, Oak Woodtree, Monal, Blake Foyer, Matthew Garcia, True Lightning Striker, Faisal Al Sharif, Lore Artie, Adrian Williams, Ethan Yeatstar, Kelstar159, The Shadows, and Damar DeBell. In the VIP patron tier, we have Levin726. And finally, in the God tier, we have Tails Homie 99. Thank you, especially Tails Homie 99. You are an absolute god. And with all that, thank you all so much for watching, and until we meet again. See you later!